Welcome to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and connected to the miraculous energy of unconditional love that I call Mother Mary. If you're a highly sensitive, highly creative entrepreneur or light worker, and you want to magnify your impact and your intuition, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Reverend Frances Faden, interfaith minister, intuitive coach, and author of Meditation is Friendship with God. I can't wait to share miraculous stories, books, meditations, messages, and interviews with other miraculous light workers just like you. Are you ready to magnify your miracles? What are we waiting for? Let's get started. Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. I'm Reverend Frances Faden, and I'm so grateful to get a chance to be with you today and to share with you a truly life-changing book. But before we get into that, let's take a few deep breaths together just to get ourselves grounded and centered. If you are driving, please keep your eyes on the road, but you can still bring your awareness to your breath. Breathing in the energy of expansion, breathing out anything that you no longer need. And just letting yourself really start to tune into what you really need to hear today. What is it that would be so helpful for you? And just imagining that you are already hearing and receiving that message. Knowing that that's exactly what's going to be happening. Let's take one more deep breath in gratitude, and we can begin. Oh, my miraculous friend, I'm going to tell you about a book that if you take this seriously, will change your life forever in the most amazing way. What is this book, you might say? It's a book called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. And you may remember that Rhonda Byrne is the woman who brought forth the book and the movie called The Secret. And The Secret came out quite a while ago. But what you may not know about The Secret is actually part one of a trilogy. So a lot of people watched the movie The Secret, and then they tried to work with the law of attraction and manifest their desires. And they had a difficult time doing it. And there's a reason why. It's because The Secret, which explains the law of attraction, is only one part of the trilogy. This book, The Magic, is the second part of the trilogy. And then the third part is a book that's called The Power, which I also love as well. But we're going to be focusing today on The Magic, because this book, when I read it, I think I came across it in 2013. And I know it sounds kind of trite to say, oh, this book changed my life. Well, let me tell you how it changed my life. This book is about gratitude and the power of gratitude. And it's a 28-day practice in gratitude. And I'm going to go over a few of the things in here for you. But I want to first tell you about my experience. So like you, I have probably, I was studying a lot of law of attraction, a lot of metaphysical things. You that you have been listening, you know that I've been on the metaphysical spiritual path since I was like 11 years old, wanting to understand how the world worked. I was reading Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain when I was 16 and, trying all these things. And everything I did, affirmations, Louise Hay, all that stuff, it all worked to some extent, but I could never really sustain any of it. And I never saw the results that I saw other people having, and it would frustrate me. Now, if you were to ask me, well, Frances, are you practicing gratitude? I'd be like, of course I'm practicing gratitude. If you give me something, I'm going to say thank you. If you offer me a gift, I will definitely say thank you. But the truth of the matter is I was not practicing gratitude in a conscious way and in a daily way. And it showed up in my life because I kind of had a little bit of an energetic chip on my shoulder, and I wasn't aware of it until I read this book. And she helped me to see that everything I was doing, there was a missing ingredient. And that ingredient was heartfelt, really heartfelt gratitude. I did this book, and within 28 days, I had doubled my income simply from changing my vibration. People talk about, oh, you got to change your vibration. This is what changes your vibration, my friends. It's the practice of gratitude. Now, you might already be saying, like, oh, but I am grateful. This book tells you a different way of practicing gratitude that I'm going to share with you. And I highly recommend you get the book because there's being grateful for things that have happened in the past, being grateful for things that are happening now, and being grateful for things that have not yet occurred. And that is the magic piece of this is, can you be grateful now for the things that you're not yet experiencing? So if you're wanting more love in your relationship, can you be grateful now and say, thank you for my loving and harmonious relationship, even if that's not happening now? That's the thing that really puts the quantum juice into your gratitude practice. So I'm going to read a little bit about this because I'm telling you, not only did I double my income, but I started having things happen to me where, like, I'd go out into the world because I was in a different frequency, and I'd go to like the grocery store and I started getting stuff for free. People started giving me things. I wasn't asking them, I wasn't looking for it, but I was in this such a beautiful vibration that I went to the store one time. And they were like, oh, you have, because at the time I had a rabbit. They're like, you have a rabbit, don't you? I was like, yeah, I do. She's like, oh, well, we were going to be, letting go of this big bag of greens, but we'd love to give it to you. I was like, oh, my bunny would love this. Things like this happened and opportunities started coming, and just amazing, amazing things. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the beginning of this book. So this is from Rhonda Byrne's own experience in her life. She is very much like me, where she was practicing a lot of stuff, but in her heart of hearts, she kind of had a negative attitude. She was feeling a little bit resentful. She was feeling like life was against her. And she even says here that she thought she was a grateful person, but then she wasn't. So on the very first page, she says, do you believe in magic? Remember when you were a child and you looked at life in total wonder and awe? Life was magical and exciting, and the smallest things were utterly thrilling to you. You were fascinated by the frost on the grass, a butterfly flitting through the air, or any strange leaf or rock on the ground. You were full of excitement when you lost a tooth because it meant that Tooth Fairy would be coming that night, and you would count down to the days to that magical night of Christmas. Even though you had no idea how Santa Claus could get to every child in the world in one night, somehow he did it, and he never let you down. Reindeer could fly, and life was full of joy, and your imagination knew no limits, and you believed that life was magical. There's an exquisite feeling many of us had as children that everything is good, that every day promises more excitement and adventure, and that nothing could ever thwart our joy for the magic of it all. But somehow, as adults, we grew into responsibility, problems, difficulties, and they all took their toll on us, and we became disillusioned. And the magic we once believed in as children faded and disappeared. It's one of the reasons why, as adults, we love to be around children so that we can experience that feeling that we once had, even if it's just for a moment. I'm here to tell you that the magic you once believed in is true, and it's the disillusioned adult perspective of life that is false. The magic of life is real, and it's as real as you are. In fact, life can be far more wondrous than you ever thought it was as a child, more breathtaking, awe-inspiring, and exciting than anything you've ever seen before. When you know what to do to bring forth the magic, you will live the life of your dreams. And then you will wonder how you could ever have given up believing in the magic of life. So then she goes on page 5 to talk about the book of Matthew in the New Testament and this misunderstood scripture. This is page 5. Whoever has will be given more, and he will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. You have to admit that when you read the passage, it appears unjust, and it seems to be saying that the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer. But there's a riddle to be solved in this passage, a mystery to uncover, and when you know it, a new world will have opened up for you. The answer to the mystery that has eluded so many for centuries is in one hidden word. The word is gratitude. Whoever has gratitude will be given more, and he or she will have an abundance. Whoever does not have gratitude, even what he or she has will be taken from him or her. By the revelation of one hidden word, a cryptic text is made crystal clear. 2,000 years have passed since those words were recorded, but they are as true today as they ever were. If you don't take the time to be grateful, you will never have more, and what you do have, you will lose. And the promise of the magic that will happen with gratitude is in these words: if you're grateful, you will be given more and you will have an abundance. It is a universal law. So she says, if you think, I don't like my job, I don't have enough money, I can't find the right partner, I can't pay my bills, you're going to be attracting more and more of those experiences. But if you think about what you're grateful for, like, I love my job, my family is supportive, I had the best vacation, I feel amazing today, it works as the same way as a magnet, being able to draw to you more of what you're wanting. So she goes on to talk about this and all the different philosophies, spiritual paths of the world. This is all in the introduction. And then she talks about how to bring the magic back into your life on page 15. She says, gratitude can magically turn your relationships into joyful and meaningful relationships, no matter what their state that they're in now. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this is necessarily like if you have problems that you've had your whole life, that this is going to turn them around in a day necessarily. But this book is a 28-day process, a 28-day process. And she pretty much covers all the major areas of our lives. So she has practices in here for health. She has practices in here for love. She has practices in here for money. She has how to turn around a negative situation. And again, it's divided into three ways of being. One is she has you practicing and reflecting on all the blessings that you've ever had in your life. And then she has you reflecting on the blessings that you currently have in your life. And that's where most of us tend to be. Like, we can be grateful. We think about it. Whenever I ask my clients, well, do you have a gratitude practice? It's like, oh yeah, I'm grateful for my husband, and I'm grateful for my house, and you can hear it in their voice that they're not truly happy. They think that they should be, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you can tell when somebody is grateful, it comes from the depths of inside of them. So then the third part of the practice over the 28 days is you start to get to work with the things that you would really love to be experiencing. So even if you have a relationship, I bet it could be improved. Even if you like your job, I bet there's a part of you that would love to have even more of a great experience, whether that's more creative expression or more financial reward, or maybe you want to work with people that are more like-minded, whatever it might be. We're here on the earth to be expanding ourselves. And this is the process, my friends. So I will share with you that there is a process in here. Let me see. So many of these things. Magnificent outcomes. So this is day 21. And I'm going to share this with you because I've used this so often. It's on page 187 of this book. And this is so helpful when you're coming up against a challenge. So let's say you have a meeting at work that you're nervous about. Is there something in your life, or maybe you have to go to court because you got a speeding ticket or something like that. Whatever it might be in your life, you have some anxiety about it. This practice is amazing. It's about believing in a magnificent outcome. And so what you do is you decide in advance that you're going to be grateful for the magnificent outcome. You say, thank you for the magnificent outcome to whatever it is, whatever it might be. I do this all the time when I'm offering my live channeled events. I will say, thank you, thank you, thank you for the magnificent outcome of my live channeled event with Mother Mary. And then I'll put in all the results I want. thank you for the, whatever the number of people. Let's say I want to have 500 people on my call. I'll say, thank you for the 500 ideal people on the call, that they were blessed in abundance, and that Mother Mary's energy came through in a tangible way for them, and that this event blessed me and it blessed them. Now I'm in the energy of what I want. And here's the secret to the secret, which is, in order for you to really attract what you want, you need to be in the energy of it. And we have a hard time. If you've never experienced a really great relationship, it's hard to imagine what that would be. But if you start being in the energy of gratitude and you say, I'm so grateful for the magnificent outcome of this date that I'm going to go on tonight. You can start being in the energy of what would make it a great date. I'm so grateful for the magnificent outcome of this date I'm going to go on tonight with this person who is kind and funny and on the same spiritual path. And we have so many things in common, and we just enjoy each other's company. And I'm so grateful that we had a wonderful experience. You're talking about it as if it's already happened. Thank you. And I use this technique, my friend. I had gotten a really big IRS bill. This is probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I did this technique where I started being grateful for the magnificent outcome. I said, well, I don't know how this bill's going to bless me, but I'm going to just be grateful. So I just started writing. And I like to write my gratitude. I think if we write it, some people like to say it out loud. I like to do both. But writing it is really helpful for me because it focuses my mind. And I will say, thank you, thank you, thank you. I like to say it 3 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the magnificent outcome of this sum of money for the IRS. I know that things are going to turn out in a positive way and that it's going to be easily resolved for the best of everybody. And I ended up doing that process. My accountant calls me. She had made the mistake. Instead of owing $3,000, I was getting a refund of $800. This stuff works, my friends. It really, really works. And when you get to the back of the book, I recommend that you go through all the 28 days. And if you don't do it, start over again, and go through the 28 days. And then you'll get to the end of it. And she says, once you go through the 28 days, she doesn't recommend that you do it again. You don't have to do it again, but you can build on what you've already done by going through the magical practices for a particular area of your life. So let's say you go through the 28 days and you start seeing amazing things happening with your money. And you say, now I want to really focus on relationships. On page 243, she's got specific magical practices. So if you're going through life and you're like, I really need to shine up the area of relationships, or I really need to shine up the energy of health, or I really want to shine up the energy of my career or my money or whatever it might be, you can go and pick out the magical practices that are specific for that area. I don't recommend that you do that until you go through the 28 days. And to be honest, I've gone through the 28 days more than one time. And sometimes, because I love books so much, I use this book like an oracle. And I will just say a little prayer. I'll say, Divine Mother, show me which gratitude practice I need to focus on the most right now. And then I'll open up the book and I'll see which one it is. So after you go through the 28 days, you can still use this book as an oracle. You can go back to it to go deeper into the specific practices for a specific area. You can do the 28 days all over again. There's no wrong way to do it. But the other thing I love about her gratitude practice is she asks us to take it a little bit deeper. And how do you do that, you might ask? This is how. Is rather than saying, I'm grateful for my husband, or I'm grateful for my wife, or I'm grateful for my health, she has you add the word because. Because, when you're just doing like, I'm grateful for my health, you can stay on the surface level with that. You want to really evoke the energy. You want to really feel the energy of gratitude. Why are you so grateful? And then you get into it. I'm so grateful for my health because it allows me to go through the world and continue to grow. And I get to have adventures, whatever it might be for you. You might have different reasons. you could just write every day 10 things that you're grateful for in the topic of your health. I'm so grateful for my health because, and list those things out. So you're going to have fun doing this, but I'm telling you, Rhonda Byrne, she knows what she's doing. And so if you've ever felt like, oh, the secret's not working for me, please, it's just like if you'd gone through the first episode of Star Wars and you never figured out the other two, it would be incomplete. It's the same energy. Secret is the first thing. It's the awareness. The magic is the practice. And then when you're ready to work on the power, that's the third one. And that's what really juices up everything, because now you're working with your heart and you're working with the power of love. So my friends, I am going to put a link in the show notes for you so that you can check out this book. I would love to hear about your experiences with gratitude. I'd love to hear about your experiences with this book. I'm telling you, 28 days. If you do this practice, you can turn your life around. If you do it with sincerity, in 28 days, one moon cycle, you can do this. And I would love to hear about it. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode and you're enjoying listening to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast, please let your friends know about it. And I would love if you would share it on Facebook or social media. And especially the thing that helps me the most is if you would leave a review on iTunes. That would really, really help me so much. All right. I'm excited to hear about it. And remember what we always say, the key to magnify your miracles is to know that your miracle is already here. And this is a great way to magnify your miracles, because if you're grateful for it now, that's a great way to tell the universe, I know that my miracle is already here. Thank you so much, my friends. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. I'm so grateful to be able to spend this time with you. If you want even more inspiration, feel free to visit my website, francisfaden.com or magnifyyourmiracles.com. And if you did enjoy this episode, I would really appreciate it if you left a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever it is that you connect with awesome podcasts. Remember, the key to magnifying your miracles is remembering that your miracle is already here.